I thought the low meant something was wrong, but it was actually a purge.
Something became me. I think I'm channeling new frequencies.
This was the time where I stopped looking at the slump as failure and started studying what it was trying to transform in me. Welcome to chapter 12 of my journey series. I documented my entire first year as a remote closer and all of the transformation that I underwent that helped me become my most favorite, highest version of myself. This chapter specifically is about a phase that I think a lot of ambitious people misunderstand. That phase where you're doing all the things, you're disciplined, you're focused, you're consistent, but the results around you are still not matching your effort. And if you don't understand what that phase is trying to do for you, you're inevitably going to feel like you're failing, when in reality, something deeper and much more valuable and important is happening for you. May 12th of 2025, I hit a slump and I was not closing any deals no matter how hard I tried. I was waking up early. I was sticking to a very disciplined regimen of working out, eating healthy, reviewing my calls, doing a lot of sales training, but nothing was happening for me.
I am working intensely. My schedule is intense and I love it. I love training. I love working hard, but then I get on calls and I suck. And it's not that I suck. I'm actually really fucking good, but they're not closing, god damn it. So the problem must be me. Shit.
And my sales manager had been really supportive and been very encouraging until now. This was the time where I realized he was getting worried about me too, and that is not a good thing. Because the remote closing industry does tend to be quite savage. If you are not closing well, they could just fire you. No reason required. He started to micromanage even more. I could tell by the way that he started acting with me that he was getting concerned, because he would train me on something and I would do it, but then he would tell me that I needed to do the opposite of that thing because I wasn't getting immediate results.
I'm supposed to be closing 4 deals a week. I closed 4 this month, and they were all payment plans. I don't even think I really closed 4. I think I only closed 3 or 2.
Based on the new goals that I had set myself at this point in time in my life, I needed to be closing 4 deals a week. I had closed 4 deals that month, and they were all on payment plans. None of them had paid in full. I was definitely not prepared for this part of my growth process, because this is the part where I started learning that effort does not explain outcome. The effort that you're putting into something does not the effort that you're putting into something does not directly correlate to the result. And that was a mind fuck for me, for lack of a better term. This was really difficult for me because I felt like I had cut away a lot in my life. I had left a relationship that I knew wasn't good for me. I moved into my brother's house, like I wiped my slate clean, like I should be immediately successful, right? No. I was officially in the in-between phase. Like my soul had outgrown my old identity, but I wasn't my new identity yet. I had done all of the external work. I had also done all of the internal, more spiritual work. And so since all of the work was done, I was now being invited to integrate the work that I had done and to embody the work that I had done, and to release that illusion that effort alone determines timing. Just because I'm putting a lot of effort into something does not mean that it's going to happen immediately. You trying really hard does not mean that things are going to go faster. And you relaxing doesn't mean that things are going to happen slower. I was literally being called to be still and let this new version of me take root. I also believe that this time specifically was teaching me to no longer tie my self-worth to achievement, which is very common for entrepreneurs and high performers. This slump was an opportunity for me to detach my identity from the outcome so that I could now lead from a place of embodiment and alignment rather than anxiety and urgency and stress. What I was being called to do was soften, to learn how to receive, to learn how to flow. I had already worked. I have hustled already. I've proven all those things. I know that I can work hard. I know that I can be disciplined. Now, can I surrender? Can I allow? What this all means is this specific low for me wasn't just like a low. It was a belief system that was being revealed to me, and I was getting an opportunity to reprogram it. Now, once I realized these moments were opportunities for me to reprogram beliefs in my brain, I then started looking at everything in my life and in my day-to-day. I started to directly address a feeling that a lot of people have about salespeople, and like that salespeople have about salespeople. This is the main reason why people don't want to get into sales, is because it feels manipulative. It feels shifty. It feels like you're bothering someone, you're taking from someone. I still felt that at this time, and I was struggling with that. And I'm like, oh, could this possibly be holding me back from being good at what I do and getting better at closing deals? The stigma around sales is that it is manipulative and it's pushy and it's selfish, and that salespeople just pressure other people into buying things and spending money that they don't have. Like it's almost a trap, and like you're taking advantage of someone. When in reality, sales is actually a service, because you're helping them step into transformation. And it's also a form of helping someone align with what they already want, but haven't given themselves permission to choose yet. And it's this process where it's a trust building situation, and it's a very vulnerable moment where you're participating in someone else's commitment toward growth and change and progression in their own lives. And so I started to ask myself questions and really be purposeful about the way I was looking at this role. And I started letting myself know that I am actually offering solutions that I believe in. Also, I didn't have to change myself and force myself to be something that I wasn't, that I could be authentically who I was, which is loving and compassionate, and let that be the container that helped other people transform. This is where I really started to see sales as a service. And I saw myself as a vessel that allowed that was being constructed in a way where I could handle and I could create an environment in a room where other people can break down and be reactive and get triggered, and I can hold them there and I can help them go through that and allow them a space to make a smooth transition into positive transformation. Even though I'm doing this digging and I'm learning a lot about myself, I was still having a hard time because now I'm stressing. I can now sense that my sales manager is stressing and I'm not closing deals even though I'm studying up a lot. And so I was sitting in the backyard of my brother's house in between my calls, and this is the reason why I appreciate my brother so much, because I was literally just sitting on the patio furniture in the backyard and I was just looking up at the sky, and my brother comes out with his headphones and he gives me the headphones. I take them and he puts his phone next to me. He's like, put those on and press play. And I was like, okay. So I take the headphones, I put the headphones on, I press play on his phone, and it's a song called Rise. It was a song created for League of Legends. And if you haven't heard it, listen to it. It's a badass song. It gassed me up in such a way that this was my response.
But like I was in a fucking music video and I'm about to enter my movie montage where all of a sudden, boom, in 30 seconds of clip, 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 I'm a millionaire. At the end of the day, like at this point, I literally only have my actions. I no longer have hope in me closing deals anymore. I can only put hope in myself. And whatever happens, happens. But I do believe in me and I trust in me. And I know tomorrow I'm going to wake up before my alarm and I'm going to listen to podcasts that help me do my self-development and my inner work. And I'm going to sit down at 9 o'clock and I'm going to start training. And I'm going to write down my questions and I'm going to go the extra mile. Not because I want to make sales and close deals, but that's just because of who the fuck I am.
This pressure that I was under led me to learning one of the biggest lessons that transformed me personally. And it started with my sales manager doing a training with me around why it was so difficult for me to interrupt people. I personally was raised to not speak my mind, to not have an opinion or a backbone, and to definitely not interrupt someone while they're talking. Now, the reason why this is important in sales is because people will rant on the call and you only have a limited amount of time. That's just a logistical thing. You need to be able to direct a conversation and steer people in a direction. But also, what's really important is sometimes people will talk around a problem and you got to be able to cut through the noise. And so to me, though, interrupting someone was actually quite triggering for me and I could not do it. I started to ask myself why. Like beyond my parents just like, teaching me not to interrupt people. It's like, no, it's deeper than that. I could feel that it was. And this is something that my sales manager had actually been trying to get me to do since I joined the offer. And I was usually able to implement right away anything else that he had taught me, but this was a huge sticking point for me. So I started asking those deeper questions too. So specifically, what I wrote here is what I struggle with now is conceding too easily to the lead's frame, especially at the price drop. I can sense that the deal is going to fall through. And instead of confronting this head on and maintaining frame and authority, I just kind of like let it go and slip by. And of course the deal falls through. And I wanted to be able to grow beyond this, but I didn't know how to get myself to do it. And I said, I'm not sure what the direct limiting belief is that's making me do this. So in my analysis, here's what I found. I can sense the resistance or the doubt. My body internalizes it as pressure. I collapse my frame instead of holding it. I unconsciously retreat to safety, aka surrendering my authority in my frame, and the deal falls through. I was thinking to myself, if I can feel the lead hesitate, I have to back off, or I'll be pushy and unsafe. Or like if I keep on holding frame, they're going to react, and that would mean that I hurt them and I push too hard. And I was even, a little bit insecure about me even holding power and holding authority when they had doubt, because I didn't want to lose their trust. If they had doubt, that must be valid, so I need to give in to that doubt too. When someone is expressing doubt, especially around the investment and moving forward with the transformation, you must hold even more to your certainty and to what you know about the offer that you're selling, which you cannot sell something you don't believe in, but I believed in my offer. Basically, I was being overly empathetic to the discomfort. Like, I felt responsible for the discomfort that was happening on the call. And I was associating assertiveness with manipulation and harm. It all came down to the fact that I did not trust my own inner authority in the presence of someone else's fear. When my job isn't to join in on the uncertainty in the call, it's to hold even more certainty and to be that gravity. When a lead wavers, that is not your cue to pull back. It's actually an opportunity for trust building and for you to love them through that uncertainty. Like, you are meant to be the grounded guide in moments of doubt on that call, where you lead people back to their own power and their own authority over their lives by not abandoning your own power. Like, you show them what is possible. You are the example on that call. Their fear is not your cue to fold. If anything, you become even more grounded in those moments, and you hold there. And it's not like you're reacting. You don't react. You simply have this calm gravity about you, this conviction about you that is grounded and rooted. You become the anchor. So here's exactly what you can do on a call when you sense resistance or doubt in the lead that you're speaking to. First, you should know resistance is not rejection. It's more like indecision on their part. It's a fork in the road. You can either take their hesitation as truth and believe that, or you can use that moment as an opportunity to guide them back to their intention, which is the reason why they showed up to the call anyway. They would not have showed up to the call if they were not interested in transformation. This moment of doubt and uncertainty is the moment that they need you most. It's okay to be gentle, but you also need to be firm in your own convictions and in your own knowing. And this is where you start asking more questions to understand, because you're leading them down the path of understanding their hesitation. So in order to do that, you don't convince, you don't persuade, you start asking questions, you get curious so that you can help them understand their hesitation. And then when you get to the root of that, and I talked about this in my last video, when you get to the root, after you've asked enough questions, then that's where you speak to them at the root. Another thing that I would recommend doing is looking at discomfort differently. Me personally, my nervous system felt responsible for like fixing or stopping the discomfort on the call, being the solution. Like, don't worry anyone, don't make anyone feel bad, don't make anyone mad. But discomfort is so important on a sales call, because it's not a threat at all. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, because it's the transformation starting to happen. And there's that discomfort. Change is always uncomfortable. Transformation is always uncomfortable. Always. You must have discomfort on the call if there is going to be transformation. So once you start to see the discomfort, this is when your lead is starting to move and they're nervous and they're scared and they need you. Discomfort is activation. It's actual evidence that they are engaging. They are considering what you're saying. They are seeing the value here. It's a very sacred tension that is created in the conversation, because now you've created a space between who they are right now and who they want to be. You've presented that option to them, and that can be very uncomfortable. And your job is to hold them there and to hold that space, not dissipate it, not rescue them from it, not rescue yourself from it. You actually walk them through it. You hold their hand through it. Now, the hard part for me was I didn't know how to hold them there without feeling bad that I was doing that, and knowing that I created that environment of discomfort because of the fact that they were uncomfortable. I wanted to prove that I was safe and that they were safe with me. So I would give them an out. But that would ruin my frame, ruin my authority, and it costed me so much money because they never closed. And there were so many people who didn't transform, who I could not help because I was just overly agreeable. I wanted to save them from the discomfort, which in turn was robbing them of the transformation. So I learned to understand that just because a lead was uncomfortable and scared on a call doesn't mean that I did anything wrong. I was simply inviting them into something bigger. I knew that my knowing and my grounded energy and my authority would be the safest thing for them in that moment. That I could be their protector and their guide, and I could walk them through their fear and into a better version of themselves and into the transformation that they truly did want. I stopped fighting their fear and I started creating a container that was strong enough to hold their fear without me breaking, without me flinching. As I was learning more about this and more about myself and how my limiting beliefs were presenting themselves on the calls, I could also see how they were presenting themselves in my life. And I was actually given this amazing opportunity to truly be the hero to other people that I wanted to be and to make the impact that I wanted to make. You don't make impact by being a doormat and being a people pleaser. You make impact by causing discomfort and being able to hold someone else's discomfort with them and walk them through that moment hand in hand. It's trust building. It's you are safe with me. You are safe with me, and this is okay. This is normal, but you need to decide. It's that. Oh, I love it so much. Oh, it's gravity. It's amazing. This was only the beginning of setting the scene for me to learn some of the biggest lessons that I would learn about myself, and everything that I would learn that would adjust the way that I was appearing on the calls was going to drastically shift the individual that I was embodying, because the only way that you can authentically guide someone through a transformation on the call is if that's the person that you are in real life. I was learning to hold myself under pressure, and I had no idea. So if you are in a season where your effort isn't matching your outcome, it's not necessarily a strategy that's missing or a skill set issue. The better question to ask is, what part of your identity is being challenged here? Speak to that, listen to it, ask it questions, because oftentimes lows are not there just to stop you or to be oppressive or because you had a high in life. It's actually there to squeeze out of you what can't move forward with you into your new life and into your new identity. He asked me if I had any comments or questions. He's not firing me yet, but it's on their radar. I'm doing everything that I can. If he has to let me go, he lets me go. We'll see what happens. Don't know what any of this means. I'm just doing my best, and I'm following the signs, and that's all that I can do.